Hey everybody, bit of a serious video today, so I guess let's jump into it. My friend was found dead yesterday. It looks like it was a drug overdose and it's awful, but it's really making me realize some things. This is the third friend I've lost in a year and a half, and life is fucking precious. And a lot of the things that have been going on recently are such a waste of life. And so I'd like to make this video to really just make amends with everybody in my life that I've ever hurt or anything. If anybody I've hurt. If I'm not on good terms with you, I would like to make amends now, or at least just apologize and forgive. Because, yeah, we don't know when we're gonna go. And I think that realization is a very powerful realization that we should all always have. And if we always did, I think a lot of the petty stuff that's been going on in our lives wouldn't happen so often. So we all get hurt and make mistakes, and we always forget how precious life is, but I think it's important to come back to that realization and always forgive and apologize and just try to make amends. This person in particular taught me a very, very, very powerful lesson, and that is compassion. It's something I've been working on recently a lot. I think a lot of people have noticed that, and I know my wife has. And I guess I'll just tell a story. So basically, him and I weren't best friends, but we did become friends in the last 3 years or so, and he was always very triggered by the fact that I was vegan, and I was very vocal about being a vegan. And he's a cook. He was a cook, and so that's his passion was cooking, and he worked in restaurants, so his passion was cooking a lot of the time animals and animal products. So the fact that I was so vocal about not consuming animal products probably very much triggered him, and he would always comment on my things. But the way I see it is, it wasn't because he wanted to make me feel bad or he wanted to necessarily challenge me. It was because he was interested. And I think that's a lesson we can learn in the vegan movement. When people come to us and they have questions or even criticisms about the vegan diet, it means that they're focusing on the vegan diet. It means that they're interested in some shape, way, or form about the vegan diet. So when we take their criticisms or questions personally and start to treat them poorly or call them names or just use any sort of behavior that is not compassionate, not only does it not help the vegan movement, but I think it really hurts the vegan movement. Vegans are now seen as uncompassionate people, and that's the opposite of what we want to be, isn't it? We want to be seen as compassionate, loving, caring people. And it's not necessarily that we want to be seen as that, but we want to be that, don't we? And I get it. It's hard sometimes to not take things personally. It's much easier said than done. But it's very important that we look at this, because I made a video about the other day. I think it is really the number one reason why the vegan movement is being slowed down. It's the number one thing that is slowing down the vegan movement is the lack of compassion towards humans. It's very easy to be compassionate towards an animal that it's not going to offend you or trigger you in any way. But it's much more difficult to be compassionate towards human beings who have the power to offend. And so I think that's something that we really need to look at. And there's been a lot of sort of drama in the raw vegan and vegan movement recently. As you know, Nicholas, some might know him as Nikocado Avocado on social media, has shifted away from 100% raw vegan diet, and he's experienced a lot of flack, a lot of shit, a lot of uncompassionate behavior, a lot of projecting. I think a lot of people, I think it's very important that the raw vegan movement, each individual understands that this is the way that their body is working. The raw vegan food works for them. It doesn't mean it works for everybody. And this is scientifically provable. I mean, some people have literally fructose intolerances. They cannot eat fruit. It will damage their bodies. And whether or not that's reversible, it's a fact. And you can't just tell them, oh, just eat some more fruit. Oh, just eat some more fruit. You know, you just can't tell them that. And it's wrong. It's incorrect. It's dogmatic. It's all these things. And I know these things because I've done them before. I'm not trying to say that I'm perfect. I'm not trying to skirt any sort of hypocrisy, because I know I've been a hypocrite many times in my life. And this isn't about being perfect. This is about learning. This is about unity. Because aren't we all just trying to save the planet and the animals and ourselves? Aren't we all just trying to be happy and loved and accepted by our peers? Isn't that really what we want in life? So I want to make a public apology, not only for myself, but on behalf of the entire raw vegan movement, to Nicholas, to Nikocado Avocado. I'm fucking sorry. I know you and I personally have a lot of just, you know, a lot of ridiculous stuff. And I know you've apologized, I know I've apologized, and I know we've both been at a point where we weren't ready to accept the other person's apology. I know I accepted your apology, but I wasn't ready to do it. I was doing it out of sort of, I wanted to be the bigger man. I didn't want to be the one to continue this fight, but I did. I continued it. And so I want to, I know it might take time, just look at, it took me time to fully forgive you for what you've done to me. I know it will take time for you to forgive me for what I've done to you. So I hope we can all forgive and forget and apologize, because that's what's most important right now, is to unite and work together for the greater good. And I'd like to apologize to everybody, like I said, that I've hurt or anything like that. I know I've been a very closed off person for a very long time in my life, and I think a lot of people might sort of see that as me being rude or inconsiderate, but it's really because I was at least so insecure to the point where I couldn't handle being in a conversation with somebody. For a long period of time, I thought expression was a form of insecurity, and it might sound insane. I'll do a video of why I thought that for a long time, but I was for a long time unable to laugh. And when you're unable to laugh and somebody makes a joke and you don't laugh at it, they take that personally. And they might think you're rude, or they might think, oh shit, I'm not funny, or, you know. And there's all these things that are happening within us that can be misconstrued by other people. And I think if we can just come from a place of understanding that we are all imperfect, we all have our own stuff that we're dealing with, that once we realize that, we can forgive and forget so much easier. and be happy, be fulfilled in our lives, move on to the next thing, not dwell on these little problems. So petty problems. And so yeah, I don't know if everybody's sorry for what they've said to you, Nicholas. I know that a lot of people are just coming from their experience, and they're not being compassionate and taking other people into consideration. They're just saying, oh, it works for me, so it must work for everybody because everybody's a human. So therefore, and it's a very simplistic way of looking at things, and it's incorrect. So yeah, I'd also like to apologize for Doug Graham, because I made a video quite a long time ago, probably closer to a year ago, that so basically defaming him, and it was all coming from hearsay. I wasn't there. I shouldn't be talking about a situation that I wasn't there attending and experiencing. So I'd like to publicly apologize to Doug Graham. I took that video down. I apologized to him personally, and he said he would appreciate a public apology, so I do very much apologize for that. I know everybody, especially within this movement, does have good intentions, and to focus on the people that might be making mistakes in this movement is such a waste of time. I mean, we could be focusing on Monsanto, bringing down Monsanto. We could be focusing on growing a garden, in that way bringing down Monsanto. We could be focusing on so many things that are so much more important than the things we're focusing on. But we're not a lot of the time. So if you're watching this, I would really like for you to think about that and just look at where your focus is going. And hopefully I inspire some other people to make similar videos where they're making amends with the people they've hurt. And yeah, let's change the world, guys. Let's work together. Let's change the world. So, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm sure if I sat here and thought of all the people I've offended, I could be here all day, but I'd really just like to apologize to everybody right now. I think you understand where my mind is at, and I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I hope you understand, even though I might not name your name, I would love it if you forgive me like I'm forgiving you, or if you apologize to me like I'm apologizing to you. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying. So without further ado, let's start living. Let's start living. Let's start changing. Let's start growing together, not apart. Thanks for watching. So much love. Peace.
Ja.